Hey guys, what's up, it's iFlynn here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to farm Frost in Warframe. Now, before we go on with this video, I do have a little bit of a bad throat, so if I stop talking or if I stutter or whatever, that's why. But other than that, this video is more or less being catered for newer players, as this video will be tied to the beginner guides, just to kind of show people how to farm Frost if they don't quite get it when I explain it in the beginner guide. So it's just kind of like a more in-depth look, right? So I'm going to be showing you guys like weapons that I recommend using and stuff like that, and frames and mod setups, and just generally how to get the frame. So this is 110% free, by the way. You don't have to pay any money or anything like that, so just keep that in mind too. Jumping into the arsenal, we have Vault, we have the Heck, we have the Sonic Core, and we have the Orphos. So the Sonic Core and the Orphos aren't necessary. Sonic Core definitely makes this easier, but the Heck is your primary focus. Get it? Because it's the primary weapon. It is your primary focus when it comes to dealing damage, along with Vault. So the mods that I'm using are pretty basic. You have Vitality for your health, Continuity for power duration, Flow for more energy, Streamline to make it so that your abilities cost less, right? And then you have a random aura mod on. So if you have one, throw it on so you have more space to throw on more mods and stuff like that. Pretty straightforward. Moving on to your shotgun, you have your base damage mod. You have Blaze, which is a nightmare mod, which is going to give you fire damage plus base damage. And then you have your elemental combo, which is electricity plus toxin. So that's kind of like a basic weapon setup for a newer player. You can run radiation if you can't make corrosive by combining these two. So if you have what's it called, incendiary coat, you can run charge shell plus incendiary coat instead, and that's still pretty good versus Grenier. Moving on to the secondary, it's more or less the same thing. Hornet Strike for damage, and then elemental combo, making corrosive or radiation. And then on your melee, pretty much the same thing as well. Pressure point for damage, fury for attack speed, your elemental combo, and then we have a range mode on here for kind of shits and giggles. So other than that, next thing you want to do, go up to the market, type in Frost, click on Frost, click on the little credit symbol, purchase the blueprint, and you'll see that we need to get Frost Neuroptics, Frost Chassis, and Frost Systems. So what we have to do is we need to go and we need to kill Vor and Lich Krill on X the series to get the blueprints to craft those parts in our foundry, so then we can craft Frost. So it is going to take a little while. Those parts take 12 hours each, so if you build them all at the same time, wake up and then start building your Frost is going to take 3 days. Once you have all the stuff built and put together. So other than that, let's focus on getting to the bosses. So these are 2 bosses that you should have fought already. Lich Krill, the guy with the pipes in his back, and Vor, the guy that does the teleports and summons in ads whenever you damage him. So you don't have to worry too much about the mobs making your way to the boss. Just worry about the mobs that are going to be there whenever you're in the sort of boss room, right? And the boss room is going to be the same every single time. So it's not going to be the same sort of tile set layout, but it's going to be the exact same tile set layout in the boss room, if that makes any sense. So once we get there, which is right now, you know, it's going to be the same every single time you run it, right? So you run on up. There's going to be a few enemies which you can more or less just one-shot with the Heck, even if you do have very lackluster mods. Obviously, if you run higher ranked mods than the ones that I'm using, it's going to be a lot easier, especially whenever it comes to things like these guys right here, the Prosecutors. The Prosecutors are probably going to be your biggest issue, right? Because these guys take very minimalistic damage. So what we're going to do is we're going to kill all the enemies around, and then we're going to deal with the Prosecutor and this Nox over here on an individual basis, because these 2 enemies are going to mess you up big time if you don't get rid of them. So yeah, they are worth killing. You'll notice that your Sonic Core doesn't really do that much damage to these guys. That's because it doesn't have that much puncture damage, and it's more meant for just breaking the pipes on Lich Krill's back. So what you could do, use the Sonic Core to just go ahead and start bursting the pipes on the back of Lich Krill while you're dealing with some of the other mobs, right? So if you just use your Orphos to go ahead and kind of slice some of them up. If you also want to, you can disable this alarm over here. And then that way, less enemies are going to spawn in, which will make it a lot easier for you to sort of deal with the enemies around. So there's that. Let's just go ahead and deal with this Nox the best we can too. So we can maybe try to push him off the map with this autocore, which makes this really easy too. So there we go. Oh, never mind. Are you done yet? There we go. He's off the map, which is awesome. So we're going to keep on bursting this guy's pipes, like so, with the Sonicore, which is awesome. And then if we're going to be dealing with Vor, we're going to use our electric shields, right? So we can also use our electric shields to kind of deal with this guy. You can put down 5 shields at a time, and if you shoot through them, you're going to be dealing bonus damage, which is very good for just kind of like dealing as much damage as possible to any enemy that gets too close. So check this out. See how much damage we dealt the Vor there? He went into his invulnerable stage, and we have to kill the ads that he summons in now until he becomes vulnerable again. And we do the exact same thing. We just get close, put down our shields, shoot through them to damage him, and then kill any ads that he spawns in along the way as well. And then do the same thing one more time. Let's just go ahead and reload. And now he's dead, which is awesome. We got our working cells, and now we just continue bursting the pipes on Lich Krill's back while killing all the ads, like so. So there we go. Lich Krill should be the last one here. So we just have to wait for him to unfreeze himself, and then we break his final pipe. He's gonna do this slam down again. Hopefully we can try to beat it out. Come on, you know you want to. There we go. And then you do the exact same thing versus Lich Krill that you did the Vor. Put down your shields, as many as you possibly can. 5. And then wait for him to become vulnerable, and just shoot at him. And then he'll die once we kill this ad, which is annoying me. There we go. Do. And now he's dead. And now you go to the exit. And then once you get to the exit, you're going to be rewarded with a single Frost part blueprint, which you're going to craft in your foundry. It'll take 12 hours, and it'll take resources. And then once you get the inner optics, the systems, and the chassis, you'll be able to build Frost. The systems is 110% the rarest part. Chassis and their optics share a drop rate of 32%, where the systems has 28%. So if you get systems in your first run, you're lucky. If you get all 3 parts within 3 runs, you're lucky. And you can also get the twin gremlins from here as well, which is good for newer players because it's good for your mastery. And other than that, that is basically how you get Frost. You go down to your foundry here, and then you go to the Warframes tab, type in Frost, and then start building the Frost chassis, Frost Neuroptics, Frost systems, and then put them together using the blueprint once you have the resources required. And other than that, that is pretty much it. Frost is a great defensive frame, and in my opinion, he is a must-have for all new players coming into Warframe. Just if you want to be useful in a mission where you have to defend the pod, or you're struggling, or you need more CC or whatever, Frost is probably going to be your go-to frame. So yeah, he is really useful. Just to give you guys another look at the builds. So again, if you can rank up the mods, like Point Blank, your elemental mods, whatever, go ahead, rank them up and do so. It'll make it a lot easier. I just kept them unranked there just to show you guys that you can do it with very low level mods, and that you know, you can still kill the boss pretty easily if you use the Warframe's abilities plus the correct elements and the correct mods all in conjunction with one another even earlier on in the game. But like I said, if you have the endo to rank it up, go ahead and do so. It shouldn't cost that much. So let's just go ahead and take a look here actually. Point Blank, where are we at? Can't see it. There it is, Point Blank. It would take 620 endo to rank that up to max, which is 90% extra damage, which will help you out tremendously whenever it comes to that fight. It's also going to take 29,000 credits, which, I mean, endo and credits is pretty hard to come across for a newer player anyways, so I don't know, your melee is going to deal a lot of damage. Melee is actually probably one of the easiest things to mod for early game. So if you make sure that you're going into it with a, decently modded melee weapon, then that means dealing with the ads is going to be a lot easier. And then once you deal with those ads, you get them all kind of cleaned up nice and early, then you'll be able to focus your attention more on the bosses. Having the Sonic Core will basically just make it so that you can deal with Lich Krill a lot easier while you're also dealing with War, like if you're just kind of flying past them type of thing. So yeah, other than that, that is basically it for Farming Frost. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that like button below. If you want to see more Warframe content, I got it right. If you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.